Okay, so we're going to talk about quick masking. Quick masking can be found right below your foreground and your background colors on this little icon right here. If you move your mouse and wait 2 seconds, it'll tell you that this is edit in quick mask mode. The shortcut is the letter Q. And we're also going to be working with our channels right here. So when I make a selection, let's say that I use the marquee tool, right? If I hit Q, alright, our quick mask will be activated and you will see that your selection turns into a specific color. Okay, to change the color, we're gonna double click on this icon right here, quick mask. By default, Photoshop has masked area selected. I'm gonna select selected areas. The color can be changed right here under color. And you guys are probably asking yourself, why do we need to change the color? Well, imagine you have a quick mask that is green on top of a character or a background that is green. Then you will not be able to see your quick mask. And then to change the opacity of the quick mask, this is where we're going to go. If I have an opacity of 100 and I hit Q, this is what you get. But if I have an opacity of 20 and I hit Q, then you can see more of the image. And we're going to take advantage of this real quick. So let me get out of quick mask by hitting the letter Q. Okay, so the basic concept of a quick mask is that if I either make a selection and hit Q, if you look at your channels, right, I'm going to hit Q again, and then I'm going to go back into quick mask by hitting Q, is that when you create a quick mask, right, and hence the name quick mask, your selection turns into a black and white image. The reason why we see it in color is because RGB is on. But if I was to deselect RGB, you will notice right now that my image, which is my selection, let me get out of quick mask, right, has become black. Again, to see the image in black and white, turn off the visibility of RGB. So we are going to take advantage of this because, again, if I hit Q to get out of quick mask, what we can do with a selection, if I create a specific selection of the face using the lasso tools or the magic wand, for example, I'm going to make a very rough selection. If I was to hit Q now, you will notice that this quick mask, right, has turned in what's called an alpha channel. An alpha channel is literally a black and white image. So if I hide my RGB, this is my selection. Now, the reason why I said that we can take advantage of this is because if we have a selection, let me get out of quick mask and go back to the selection. At the very bottom of your channels, the second button from the left, it's called Save the Selection as a Channel. So when I click on it, this looks like the quick mask that we have, right? But it's called Alpha 1. So again, we can save our selections as alphas, which means that if I go to my RGB, I'm going to delete this Alpha 1, right? And right now I have nothing selected, but I'm going to go to quick mask. I have temporarily created a quick mask, and if I turn off my RGB, you'll notice that it's just blank white. What I can do is I can paint my selections. That is the beauty of quick mask. So if, for example, if I select the paintbrush and I draw, I've painted a selection. So if I make my brush bigger and I just do a rough selection of the face, right? When I hit Q and I get out of quick mask, what I painted becomes a selection. So quick mask is like if you were to paint a selection. The beauty of this is that because I'm working with a black and white image, I can, for example, smudge things, right? I can use the smudge tool and I can smudge my edges. I can paint a gradation, say for example, from black to white, and I can apply filters such as a Gaussian blur. Now when I get out of my quick mask, right, you will notice that that selection made out of a painted selection and gradation tools and stuff like that, when I click on it and paint it, it will take advantage of the hardness and the softness of your selection. I'm gonna deselect this layer and go back. So now what we can do, if I hit Q for quick mask, notice that my tools turn into a black and white, black for the foreground, white for the background. And what I can do, I can quickly paint my selection. So if I want to make her face into a selection, and I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to paint her face. Alright, so I'm done painting this quick mask right here, and if I go to my channels and I hide the RGB, you can see what this quick mask looks like. All I did was use a black brush and switch to white if I needed to erase something. And for the hair detail, I use the smudge tool with a brush with little dots right here. And the way it works is that you drag things out from the black out or from the white area in. Okay, we will cover that in another video. So once I get out of quick mask by hitting the letter Q, I want to save this selection for future use. So what you need to do is you need to go to your channels, and again, the second button from the left is called Save Selection as a channel. So when I click on it, there's my selection. If I turn it on, it is the color of my quick mask. Again, it's a black and white image, and if I go to my quick mask and I double click on it, you will notice that we have the green color selected, right? So to change the color of this alpha, I would double click on the icon and it's going to open the channel option. I can change the color of my alpha. I can change its opacity. Let me go to 35, and now it's going to be pink. To change the name, double click on the alpha name, and I'm going to call this one face. And I'm going to create another channel so you can see how easy it is to create another channel based on one channel. The very first button inside of our channels, the one that looks like a circle with dash, is called Load Channel as a Selection. If you have face selected, if I click on it, it will select what's in that channel. I can go to select inverse, so now the opposite of my channel will be selected, and I can create a new empty channel, and with a brush I can paint the inside of the eyes. So now if I deselect and turn on RGB, you will notice that the eyes are now part of this alpha. I'm going to call this alpha eyes, and I'm going to change the color to blue. And now if I turn on the visibility of the face channel, you will notice that I have two channels. Again, if I hide the RGB and I deselect the visibility of the eyes, you will notice that this is black. If I go to eyes, you will notice that the eyes are black. When you turn on the visibility of both alphas, you can see the differences in colors. I am going to change the opacity to 75. This is how you save your selections as alpha channels.